tax to the people is the fact that we have a lot of elderly people, we have a lot of poor people in the United States. It will hurt these people drastically. But more importantly, or just as important, I should say, is what this will do is this will take the John Deeres, the Caterpillar plants, and it will make them have to pay an additional tax. Meanwhile, China and other countries won't have this tax because they're not going to get into this game. So what it's going to do is it's going to be a job pressure also. And the laborers out there, the folks that are working, need to be up in arms on this because this is going to just further the decline of jobs here in the United States of America.
All right. Do you give any credence to the August 2009 climate feedback article by Drs. Linson and Coy from MIT and the email from scientists at the University of East Anglia Climate Research Unit, or do you believe the science is settled?
I believe that I read both sides of things, and I believe that the climate has been changing for thousands of years, and it goes through swings. I do recall back in the 70s we were going through what we call global cooling, and then just up until about a year ago we were going through global warming, and now all of a sudden we're going through climate change. So here's what I believe, is I believe that the United States of America, that basically we're the leaders. We're the ones that take charge, lead by example. I would say that green is actually red, white, and blue. It's the United States. It's us right here. We're going to lead this thing. And when it comes down to paying more taxes, I believe that a lot of this is just all about money. I'll give myself as a prime example. The government didn't have to tell me to go build a greenhouse. I did it on my own. And the reason I did it was the fact that I wanted to save utilities. I've got a large family, and I have an R50 wall. It's an ICF home. Everything is heavily efficient. And I think that, the government to come in and basically dictate to us what you're going to build. Hey, if you want to sell your house, you're going to have to update it to this code. I think it's totally wrong. I believe it's our duty as citizens of the United States to leave this country better to our children and our grandchildren than it was when we got here.
All right. Do you believe amnesty should be granted to those already here, or should they move to the back of the line behind those who came here legally?
I believe what should happen is that they should go to the back of the line, definitely. When we go into illegal aliens coming to the United States, there's a couple of things that we need to do. First and foremost, we need to secure the borders. It is our government's job to protect our country. And I think we need to secure the borders. We need to figure out a way to expedite people, not by amnesty whatsoever, but to get the system to where they can flow through a little bit more faster, I guess you might say. I think one of the problems that we have is we have people that are working and they're being paid cash under the table, what have you. And those people, what we need to do is, I believe, is any company out there, be it a large or small corporation, if you're knowingly hiring an illegal alien and taking jobs away from Americans, you need to have a swift penalty. And what I mean by that is we need to make people think twice. If you're going to hire an illegal person knowingly, then you need to understand that there's going to be some actions for every reaction, is what my dad taught me as a child. And just know that, hey, you're going to be penalized. You might even spend some time in jail. I don't know what that answer would be, but definitely, I mean, this is America. We're all, from all over, all different nationalities, and I think it's important that we keep that open, but it needs to be done in a proper manner.
Whether a Democratic majority or Republican majority, large spending bills which may not have passed if they stood alone have been attached to more favorable yet unrelated legislation. Do you believe this is an acceptable practice, or should all legislation be debated on and voted independently based on its own cost and merit, or at least grouped with related bills?
Definitely grouped with related bills. and that's back to the earmarks. I think that those should be gone. This is costing us billions of dollars. Every time they push a bill through, they've got 4,000, 5,000 different earmarks attached. And I believe that that's wrong. It has nothing to do with the bill that's rolling through. If they want to put something like that through, that needs to be set aside and done on its own merit, and to make sure that we're not attaching it to a military bill or something to give the swamp mice in California $30 million.
Most definitely. Will you read every bill in full before you cast your vote?
Definitely. That's one of the problems in the back of my car when I go around to town hall meetings and visit with folks is I have the HR 3200 that I carry around. That bill weighs over 10 pounds, and when our founding fathers set this thing up, it wasn't set up to put through these bills that people wouldn't read or maybe didn't have the time to read, and definitely not bills where they couldn't understand. And that's one of the problems, and that's one of my promises to the 17th Congressional District after I'm elected, is that I will read through each and every bill, and if I do not understand the bill, I will not vote until I fully do understand the bill.
All right, thank you. Do you believe the Second Amendment guarantees the right of law-abiding citizens to own guns?
Definitely. The Second Amendment has been under attack by a minority in this country for quite some time, and the Second Amendment isn't only about hunting. It's about our rights to protect ourselves as citizens. And an analogy I like to use: if you put a gun on the table and you put a hammer on the table, neither one of those are good or bad. It's the person that picks that gun or that hammer up that makes the difference. And I believe that if you pulled the guns away from law-abiding citizens, then what would happen is we would have folks out there, criminals, that would still have those guns. So I believe that the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, should stay intact, definitely.
Do you believe it's right for taxpayer dollars to fund practices which many taxpayers believe is morally offensive?
No, I do not believe that we should be forced to pay for anything that we believe is immoral or bad. And specifically, I know that with the health care bill, when it passed through the Congress, there was a thing called the Stupak Amendment, which basically took out the taxpayer funding of abortion. And I know of a lot of people, even people that believe that women should have that choice, that say, no, we don't want our tax dollar to pay for that. And I think that that's a strong issue that definitely should not be in there. It's just one of those things where, what they did was they put Stupak Amendment in there, got that bill to pass, and then it got to the Senate, and they yanked it out. And I think that is totally wrong.
Do you support term limits?
Definitely. I believe that our founding fathers, when they set this whole thing up, their intentions is to have average folks like us right here to go in and basically working folks to take your tool belt off, go in and serve for a certain period of time, 6, 8 years, get done serving, and then come back home and put your tool belt